Hello students, today my lecture is on different type of bioreactors. I will try to discuss that what do you mean by reactors. And the reactor means the vessel in which the reaction takes place. Now here if you see that in chemical reactor is a vessel in a chemical process or plant where the chemical transformations take place to generate the desired products. Now reactors deals with the organisms or biochemically active substances derived from other organisms. So we can find some kind of resemblance between the reactors and the bioreactors. Bioreactor, it is purely chemical reaction, and reactor is a purely chemical reaction, and bioreactor usually reactions carried out with the help of either microorganisms or the biochemically active substances that comes from the different biological sources. Now these bioreactors and unit processes that can be different like this. This is the bioreactor. This is the bioreactor that we have. If you look at this is connected with separators, heat exchanger, utility systems, and process control, because these are the part of the bioreactor and unit processes. So to operate the bioreactors and subsequently after the reaction is over, all these processes will be involved in this particular process. So to operate the bioreactors and subsequently after the reaction is over, all these processes will be involved in this particular process, like separators, heat exchangers, utility system, process controller. So this diagram is the bioprocess design hierarchy. Now I will discuss about the classification of reactors, and it can be classified on 3 categories. One is mode of operations, second is geometric configuration, third one is contacting patterns between phases. When you call about the mode of operations, we have 3 types of modes of operation. We have one batch type of operation, another feed batch, third one continuous process. Now batch process means we take the material at a time, let the reaction takes place, after the reaction is over we take it out. Feed batch means we put the raw material in a batch format. You know there is input but there is no output from the system. After the volume reach, we stop the operation and take out the product from the reactor. And continuous system, we have continuous input and output from the reactor. Now if we classified on the basis of geometric configuration, as for example we have tubular reactor. It's just like tubes that through the tubes that liquid passes from one end to others and there is agitated vessels, because we do the stirring inside the vessels so that just to maintain the homogeneity of the reaction mixture and the wear, so that substrate can freely interact with each other and give the products. And a third is the contact patterns between the phases, like packed bed reactor, expanded bed reactor, fluidized bed reactor, trickle bed reactor, bubble column reactor, and the airlift reactor. Then the different types, you can see that packed bed reactors where the particles they touching with each other, like I will show in the diagram. And expanded bed reactor, the particles that is detached from each other, and fluidized bed reactor is it would more detach from each other, and in the trickle bed reactor is something similar to packed bed reactor. And then bubble column reactor is similar. Simple bubble are aired through the liquid, and in airlift reactor we have some inner draft tubes. We will see the diagrams of all the reactors in subsequent slides. Now reactor classification based on the mode of operation. That is, I told you the batch reactor is most ancient. I can see that the old type of reactor that is basically easy to operate, because you take the raw material at a time and let the reaction take place, and after the reaction is over you take out the material. And India has more than 250 distilleries that we have produced the ethanol from a cane molasses, and most of the ethanol fermentation process, if you look at early days, it is naturally operated. It has been converted some of the process to the continuous process nowadays. Then we have chemical industries like dyes and inks production industry that use the batch processes, and particularly wastewater treatment processes, we largely use the batch processes. Now feed batch reactor. The feed batch reactor is mostly used where the substrate acts as a inhibition, because inhibition is the common phenomena particularly in the biological processes, because if we use more substrate then it gives inhibition to the reactors and need to. In case of substrate inhibition, it is usually recommended that feed batch reactor is usually preferable. It can be defined as the tank in which the reactants are charged initially, and limiting reactant is added continuously during the operation. No product is removed during the process. This is the main important point over there, and the examples where it can be applied is the Baker's yeast fermentation process, where the sugar can be converted into yeast cells, that we can increase the yeast cells production by using more substrate, because usually 1 gram of sugar can approximately produce 0.5 gram of yeast cells. So more substrate is utilized in the system, we can get more the yeast cells. And also in the pharmaceutical industry, particularly for the production of secondary metabolites, feed batch reactors are used. Then we have this continuous batch reactor, particularly we have continuous flow reactors vessels in which the reactant is feed continuously and product is withdrawn continuously from it. But here I want to point out most of the continuous reactors usually operate in the batch mode and let the reaction take place. When the reaction takes place, rate of reaction is maximum, then we start feeding one end and take the product from the other end. The application is SCP production. SCP is the single cell protein production. HFCS production, that is high fructose corn syrup production, and in the sludge processing. Now these reactors can be schematically represented like this. In the batch reactor, in the batch reactor, we take the substrate as a time, let the reaction take place, and then in the feed batch we keep on feeding the substrate that in the batch pattern, and when the reaction volume reaches its maximum, then we stop the operation and take out the product. And in the continuous system, there is continuous inflow. You can see in the continuous inflow and continuous outflow from the reactor. Now we will discuss the reactor classification based on geometric configuration. We have tubular reactor, like the plug flow reactor. Tubular reactor looks like this. It is like a tube. You can see that a liquid is fed in from one end and product is going out from the other end. Now if we look at this reactor, it consists of hollow pipe or tube through which the reactant flows, and where the reactant moves as a plug along the pipe. Now plug flow, basically in the chemical engineering language we call it piston flow. Piston flow means when liquid flow through the pipeline, there should not be any kind of velocity gradient due to the friction effect between the fluid and wall. So in ideal flow, particularly piston flow is considered as an ideal flow where there is no friction, because that is actually not possible. But in normal case we have the friction. That is why we have different velocity of the liquid along the cross section. Now in case of plug flow, there is no axial mixing takes place across the reactor, but there may be the radial mixing. Now this is applied for homogeneous and heterogeneous reactions and product inhibition processes, high temperature reactions, etc. Product inhibition process that is very important. Most of the biological process we know as the product formation takes place, particularly in case of acid production process, like in citric acid fermentation process. Researchers found that high substances, the acid concentration has some inhibitory effect on the organisms. We can give the example of acetic acid fermentation process, lactic acid fermentation process. All these have same kind of inhibition process. Even as ethanol fermentation process, ethanol has some kind of inhibition process. So for all these processes, tubular reactors are used. Now the next is the continuous stirred tank reactor. This reactor is very easy to operate. The reactant and the product are continuously added and withdrawn, while the contents within the vessel are vigorously stirred using the internal agitation. So the main purpose of stirrer, putting the stirrer, is to maintain the homogeneity of the reaction mixture. We pass the substrate from one end and take the product from the another end. This is very easy to operate. So this is the schematic representation of the continuous stirred tank reactor. We feed from one end and we we take out the product from the another end. Now we have packed bed reactor. This is reactor configuration based on contacting patterns between the phases. I told you that phases means we have maybe presence of two phases, solid and liquid. So in the packed bed reactor, usually it looks like this, that your particles that packed in the reactor, they touch each other due to gravitational force of attraction. The major problem of this process is that when we pass our liquid, the liquid can't travel in between the particles, because here the one particle is in touch with the other particle. So when whole portion of that solid bed will not come in the contact with the liquid, so your rate of reaction in this system will decrease to a great extent. This is the major drawback of this packed bed reactor. In this type of reactors, pump can be required to make the fluid move through the packed bed. Applications of the reactors are in wastewater treatment, immobilized cell systems, multi-phase reactions in pharmaceutical industries. Now it defines is vessel filled with catalytic pellets. We can pack with immobilized enzyme, immobilized microbial cell, and then reacting fluid passing through the void space between them. We can use pump to make the fluid flow through the packed bed. So application, it has the wastewater treatment process, particularly by using immobilized cells. Immobilized cells system that is used for the production of different products. Particularly we can use high fructose corn syrup by using immobilized enzyme in multi-phase reactions in pharmaceutical industries.